The Could Be Better podcast network is sponsored in part by the Frederick Let There Be Rock School. Let There Be Rock School, located in Frederick, provides a world-renowned music lesson program and an unparalleled after-school rock and roll community center. Listeners can now get their first lesson free when you tell them Could Be Better sent you. Visit www.frederickrockschool.com and click the contact button in the top right-hand corner of the page to get yourself started.
Again, listeners of the show get their first lesson free if you tell them Could Be Better sent you. It's not too late or too early to learn your favorite Olivia Rodrigo, Dragon Force, or the Black Keys song. So go now to www.frederickrockschool.com and reach out today for your first free lesson.
Well, this is a mess.
Yeah, but it's our mess.
What I love, these episodes where we start out with these long pauses are wild.
Highly rated and coveted, you know?
We have, this episode is dedicated to Samuel Powers. Of course, this is Chris Perry's band. It is the band that he said I won't say it's specific to Sam Powell, but Chris said he would never be in a band again. When I asked him over and over if he'd be in a band, if he wanted to start a project, we did one song, and that's the theme song for this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, though, Chris stonewalled me, and it turns out now, even though he doesn't want to admit it, but he does admit it at the end of this podcast, that he's now back in a band. How are you, Chris?
Wow, there's no coming back from that at this point. Do we just roll the interview? I mean, I just feel totally boned. No, I mean, it was an honor to be able to set up this podcast with you. And I'm glad we got to talk towards the tail end. It was fun. But yeah, Samuel Powers is back, and it is a band, and I am in that band, and it's super weird.
Well, let's do this then. This actually just came into my mind. We didn't talk about this pre-show with all our notes and our pre-production with our producers.
Yeah.
But the interview is, for lack of a better word, a shit show, and there's not a lot that people will get from it, I'm assuming.
A poop show.
Yes, yeah, we don't swear, according to our soon-to-be hosts. But if this intro to this episode is only going to last 8 to 10 minutes, let's kind of try to make up for all the nonsense that happens within the interview, and let's talk a little bit about the band and what it's like to be in a band again for you, because you said you practiced right yesterday.
Yeah. So we're taping on Sunday, the 12th, and we taped on Friday, and then we had the first Sam Powell practice in 4 years on Saturday. It was crazy. I will say, for folks tuning into the interview and that are skipping ahead because who cares about more things I have to say, just get to Corey and Corey, right? There's 4 people talking, right? And we said as a band we wanted all to be on the first one back, and having more than 3 people on a podcast is really hard. So we all sound yeah, and technically is that's amazing. Yeah, okay, so back to your question. So being in a band, you'll hear that Corey gave me a really hard time, and this is so unfair. I get to be this co-host and give a little bit of like picking apart this thing before people listen to it, and the other 3 don't even get to do that. So I note that it's unfair, but I appreciate and prefer the advantage. But Corey kind of like roasted me a little bit, being like, oh, hey, like Chris, you over romanticize this band, and you say we're all friends with them, we don't even hang out. And I was like, wow, you really feel that way, man. And so
he did say that. Yeah,
he did. I'm not exaggerating. But that I do think being back in a band has been probably different for me, more similar to B than the rest of the guys. But I think it's been because towards the end, he and I were kind of both co-piloting, writing the music and doing all the things with things. And so it just felt like there was a lot of B time. And we call him Brandon on the podcast, and I felt uncomfortable with that the whole time. But
Well,
B
I'm the
Brandon.
only one who inserts that into every interaction between all of you people. I'm the one who does that. I do that on purpose because I don't understand.
But like, but yeah, but like being back in a band now, it we just got the final mix for our other song that's going to be coming out here very soon, and it like brings me to tears every time I listen to it. And I openly tell it to everybody else. I feel like we all kind of like B and I feel the same way about it. Corey's kind of like, what, man? It's a happy song, you know? And I'm like, dude, no, like it's happy and it makes me sad at the same time. And Brody sent a gif of like a little animal listening to music on headphones, just like weeping. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how I feel when I'm listening to the song. So that being said, I think if Blink-182 didn't come out with an album this year and their friendships were restored, and that was a cool thing, and #1 on the album charts for the entire world, I would probably feel differently about Samuel Powers. But I've been so connected with the Blink stuff for so long that maybe I'm drawing parallels to how the friendship restoration has been with Sam Powell. But I still feel like for me, it's been super special. It's been super refreshing. It feels restorative. And the time that I do hang out with everybody, which is not as much as it will ever had been, or it won't be the least amount as it ever will be, it's been really good for my soul. And I am still stressed scheduling 4 other people's lives when it comes to practices and stuff. And I don't miss that at all. But getting together and having a finished product that is what I think is good, and I'm enjoying it, has been really nice.
This is sort of interesting though, because you were out of that world for a while and now you're back in that world, and that world can bring you stress. It can bring you joy. It can bring you a lot of different emotions, a lot of different things where you say, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to deal with this. I have a wife and I have a child and I have a home and I have a job and I have all these things that I'm going to pay attention to that maybe I'm not going to say it filled the hole. I don't think that that happens. But on some level, now you find yourself in the thick of what it is to be in a band again. I know the feeling. We've all been, or at least the two of us have been in projects where you hear a song, you write a song, and you get super pumped. Like you guys have a song out now, you'll hear it on the podcast. Samuel Powers, brand new song, Honeybee, Honey Tree,
Honey Boy. It's brand
Honey
new, but
Boy.
it's been out for a month or so. But yeah, it'll be brand new for most people.
But you get it and you feel really good and it inspires you, and you say it's not, this is the biggest misconception of people that look into bands. They're like, oh, you're just going to write a song because, oh, you think you're going to get a top 40 single and you're going to make a ton of money or you're going to tour and all of that. I think you, above pretty much everybody else in the band, I would think, because you have a fully formed family now, you're not going to go on the road. Like that's not what this is. This is just, I love this music and I love these guys and this is so much fun and I hope we get to play a few shows. Is that, like, if I'm wrong on any of this, please correct me.
No, I mean, nope, you're all right. Let's get to the interview. But no, it's like that is really where it's at, where this is the first time, and we kind of awkwardly touched on it because nobody wants to insult my family. But it's like I have a whole, like, we all have a whole lot of responsibility. Just because I have a kid doesn't mean I'm the most responsible person in the band. I think B's got more cats than I have kids, and so like that's a lot of work, you know. He also has more dogs than I have, and so like that's also a lot of work. So I understand that things are more complicated now because we're all busier and doing other things.
Does it make you appreciate it more? Does it make you appreciate it more?
Yeah. I mean, the times that we all make to do it, it's like, it's not just like we're all taking it for granted. Like, hey, here's that Tuesday night we always practice forever just because we have this dumb show coming up. It's like, oh, we're wanting to come together. We're wanting to practice. We want to see each other. We want to play well for each other and have fun. And so that's, again, like at the root of Sam Powell if it was not fun, we said we were going to stop doing it. And there was a little bit of time where we lied to ourselves about it, and then it got better. But
Well, this will be my final question to you then. You
sure.
never know how much you miss something until it's gone, of course. And for the longest time, you and I had conversations, could be better started pretty much in the ashes of Samuel Powers. Like that, we started to do this. And on some level, you could probably make the argument that this scratched an itch that left a void during that time. Now that it's back, though, what are the things that you've realized you miss the most about that whole process of being in a band, being with your friends, writing the songs? Like, to me, there's no better feeling than when you get done writing a song and you think it's really good. So, were you, let's say, 3 years ago and could be better started, and you're just like, I don't know, everything's closed off, I'm closing everything off. Now you're back in it. What do you think you missed the most?
What I'll answer for the first way of what I didn't miss the most is kind of putting myself out there. It
But
feels
what
weird.
does that mean? Why? Because
I feel more vulnerable now than I've ever been, showing people new music that like I really
does
like.
that
And
does that involve you having a child now because you know that Wes will hear the music? No, none of that.
no. Because I mean, Wes can dig back through the archives of whatever music's going to be by the time he starts listening to it, or wherever it's going to be, and it's like, oh, he can hear the first band his dad was in that like wasn't super good, but like, oh, he played some cool guitars, but they sounded like crap because you can't hear what is going on. And then there's, oh, here's the 3-piece band that he was in for a long time. Yeah, I know nobody liked that band. And then it's like, oh, cool, Samuel Powers. Like, oh, that's cool, but like, you got, can you put on Kids Bop a million or whatever it's on now? So it's like, for me, it's just I've doing the could be better stuff. I got to hide behind the wonderful musicians that are in Frederick, and I got to ride the coattails of their successes. And so we got to put on shows at the Basement of the Eagles and at stages and at Old Mother and at
This
FAC.
fulfills you in a different way, though, right? This fulfills you in a
100%.
different way.
Yeah. So the thing. So okay, long-winded answers, and I know you're annoyed that I'm not answering them quickly enough. What I don't miss was like
Specialties long tea.
yeah. What I don't miss is pushing or it's putting myself out there in a vulnerable way of like, I think that this is good. Now here's your chance to be a critic. And for you to tell me that like, you don't like this or other things like that. Because the last band I was in before, and I'll say names because who cares, but like, because I was a part of that band and it was important to me and things in my life, blah, blah, blah. But like Still Glow is a really important thing. But like we were a band for musicians. So it got to the point where people just liked us in that band and liked the band because they knew who was in the band. It wasn't because they liked our music. It wasn't because they thought it was, catchy or fun or whatever. They're like, oh, I like Chris and other band members. And because of that, we like your band. And so for Samuel Powers, it was the first time where people liked who was in it because we got the likable members from two bands that people had not likable members in. And we finally came up with like a B average group, and we started Samuel Powers, and that became something where people liked the music because it was different, it was catchy, and we were having a lot of fun. Now, years after not doing that, we're now coming back and it's like, do people like me anymore? It's kind of like maybe the thought of something I'm just nervous about. I'm like, oh, do people like this music anymore? Will they care? And so far the response has been really positive, but we'll see how many fives of people show up at Frederick Arts Council on November 22nd. Now, to answer your question about what did I miss the most? It's always been great to do Could Be Better with you, because you and I can have our shop talk, we can have our off-air mic conversations, we can have things that we definitely don't ever want to be showing the light of day. And that's those times and those conversations and those pizza lunches are super important to me. The nice thing with Samuel Powers, and the thing that I miss the most, is like I'm now around the people that like know me really fucking well. Shit. Damn it. I said no.
There it all went.
Oh,
There it all went. But no, but
that's but
when it comes to that though,
yeah.
like you are getting you guys make it very obvious in the interview we are about to hear. You make it very obvious that this is one of those things that you guys are just so close. It's a group of the best friends in the world, and you're doing that, and that's that is sort of part of the ingredients that make Samuel Powers what Samuel Powers is. Now, when you talked before about, oh, I'm worried, will people still like us? Will people still care? Does that truly matter to you? Or does it matter more that like you keep writing and you keep doing this and it fulfills a part of you, and you have those songs down, you have them recorded, you can play them for Wes in 16 years, like those types of things. I mean, I grew up with a father who was gone because he was playing music all the time. So all I knew was like, when, oh, the new project, this is so cool to hear the new project. You'll be able to provide that now with Wes. There's got to be a sense of happiness just because you didn't know that that was going to happen until very recently.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably less to it for me of the like, hey, here's something from my kid that my kid can be proud of, because I think there's gonna be that division of respect or like
Sure, but he
awareness
might
of
dig a song. He might be 30 years old and dig the song,
yeah.
30 years from now.
Yeah, and for me it's like I could care less if my kid thinks I was in a cool band at one point than if he thinks like I'm a good dad. And so for me, like that's kind of like where I'll like, and not saying that those are mutually exclusive, but like I don't I I don't think that's as big of a factor. Like, but the thing that you said is like it doesn't matter to me if people like it. I'm like I do. I have a hard time with not passion project things, but like things that like it's not for anybody and it's just for the people in the band. Like, hey, they're having a great time doing that thing for them, and that's really cool. But then, like for me, I see that those bands are taking a spot that could be for somebody else that is actually better, or like, hey, they're in it for truer reasons. It's like, hey, old guys that just love playing Tool covers. It's a small niche group, right? But like those dudes who are all bald and all just wear way too much black and eyeliner, like I'm glad you want to come play XYZ venue and you want to do this thing and you guys have fun. You brought nobody and you were a total jerk to the sound guy and you are just a giant waste of space. I don't want that to ever be Sam Powell. And so for me, it's like if that ever got to the point where it's like no one's coming to see us, no one likes the music that we're doing, and it becomes like an obstacle for me to do other things in my life, like that's an easy write off the books thing. Sam Powell has just been kind of the vehicle now for us just to become like just to hang out again and just to spend time with each other again and to kind of like continue to burn the flame that kind of ended too early. And so now we'll see where that goes. And if everybody hates it and they don't like anything, then it's like we'll still finish the stuff that we have, but then maybe how we push it. I mean, we got t-shirts made, we got stickers that come in. I'll show you this, but it's like we have. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, this is what I'm saying, and I already said this will be the last thing I say, but this will be the last thing that I say. To me, it's a snapshot in time. You can look at
Sure.
the former Sam Powell stuff and say that's how that was, and then you can look at this version of Sam Powell and say this is how this was. Like I look back, to me the coolest thing, is to have recordings of your music through all the stages of your life, like everything you've been involved in. When I was 17 years old, I was in a street punk band and we played the dirtiest, gnarliest, awful places ever. And I did that for like 2 or 3 years. And we did an EP and a full length. And like, I love that. I love that I still have a copy of those songs. They're bad. They're not that good, but I can share that someday. And I think that this snapshot of where you guys are right now is very indicative of probably what I don't know, I won't say the rest of your life, but
Right.
it's the most mature artistic thing you've been a part of, correct?
Yeah, yeah. And I think maybe the difference between you and I, and maybe this is why I have a hard time taking or why I used to struggle with like taking compliments or receiving compliments, was like I care more about making fart jokes in the kitchen with the chefs than it is the people that are eating this dish and saying that their lives were changed because of how good this food was. So for me, I'm like, cool, here's on to the next thing. And so for me, it's like you're saying like place and time, here's the thing, like that's cool. I just like the fact that like, hey, the hours and hours and hours we spent in the van with each other and all the dumb jokes that we've came up with and have still talked about to this day, or reference that just makes us all laugh so hard that like it hurts to breathe. That is way cooler than music. And I know music's like
it's a byproduct of it.
Yeah.
And it certainly exemplifies it. You can feel things through that music, but you can't you can't replicate being in that van, I think is what you're saying.
Right. Yes. So it's almost like, hey, like it's the it's not the journey, it's the destination thing for me. Like that's not me with this, but it's like, hey, the people that I get to do it with make doing it all, because it is all time, and more than anybody, I don't have a lot of it. So for me to kind of like make extra time in my life that's already pretty small, with these three humans that are here in Frederick and then one in Nashville, it's like it's a sacrifice that I'm like graciously willing to do because I love these people. So but as we get into this interview, which I am so shocked that you did this with us, and that you and I are friends afterwards, because people buckle up, because it is a wild ride and there's so much that I would like to say and I'm not going to. So here is the return of Samuel Powers, the band, and the beginning of chaos.
This podcast is brought to you in part by Special Tees. Are you in a band that wants merch but does not know where to go? Are you looking for great quality and affordable pricing? Do you have a design that you'd like to put on a koozie for your favorite consumable beverage? How about office swag for your job or giveaway items for all of your events? Okay, you get the point now, but you have to look no further than Special Tees for all your heart's printing desires. The Could Be Better podcast listeners can act now and get 10% of your first order if you tell them Could Be Better sent you. Visit their website at www.special-tees.com or use the link in the show notes to get the conversation started. You can even call ahead and visit their showroom to see all types of products, everything that they offer. Again, telling them Could Be Better sent you via email, phone call, or carrier pigeon. It'll get you 10% off your first order. That's www.special-tees.com. Special Tees. If you haven't worked with them, they want to work with you. Welcome into my final episode of the Could Be Better podcast. So, guys, I'm here with Samuel Powers. Chris is here too. He's eating. Chris is also a member of Samuel Powers, which is why this is a very special, for the first time ever, completely sober edition of the Could Be Better podcast. So how do you feel about that?
I'm just going to make sure this is on.
I was going to say you were sober for the Valentine's Day episode.
It was a completely yeah, we were. This is the second early episode we've ever done, which is really fun. We've never done things before 12 before.
Well, this isn't before 12 either.
The first one ever.
I'm just making sure that on the computer I'm number one, right? I'm I'm the first line.
This is the second one.
You're number one.
No, like that's how I had it in the rider, was to make sure that I was number one. So
Chris is
in front of everybody
to
else.
Smack my own nose.
I don't need to be that loud.
So, I want to start. And again, Corey, Brandon.
Hi.
Oh man, see, you got to eat the mic. You didn't.
Wow.
Beast's been complaining that stuff isn't set up, but he doesn't even know how to use one.
You want it that
kind of
close.
The best and
All right,
worst.
sure. No, I'll do it.
There's a pop filter on there for a reason.
Crazy. That's crazy that you just don't have it.
Bud.
Chris has talked into that mic more than you.
Chris is eating pizza, not the mic.
Classic.
All right. And how you guys are back together. How did this come? Because Chris said over and over this was never going to happen.
He's still saying that.
So what happened? Take me through it. How did this start?
Well, that's honestly, Kevin, thank you for that one. I'll take care of that. Without me reaching out, I think really it wouldn't have happened.
It's all on you.
Yeah. I think so.
I'll stop you
Great
right
question, though. It's a great question, Kevin.
I'll
Thank
stop you right there to drop an important liner note. Previously, I was known as the diva of the band, but he's self-admitting that he was the one calling the shots on this.
Yes.
And it wouldn't have happened had he not decided, you know what, guys? After 3 years, I think I'm ready to rub shoulders again. I think I'm ready to play music again. I think I'm over it now, over being a diva.
He said
I don't know.
I think he said
that-
he missed us.
Yeah. Diva,
I think I do
diva.
remember
It's a little
him
more
saying-
complicated than being a diva, but I will concede that if I couldn't have gotten over there was a moment of being in some feels. There were some situations that happened that got me kind of in the feels, and I realized
I said I was sorry.
I
Did you guys have to apologize to each other?
I definitely had to eat some like 4 or 5 pies made specifically only out of crow. I had to eat. Oh, you want me to eat this even more? Yeah, I had to eat a lot of pie. Crow pie. Is that what it is? What's a crow pie thing?
It's a donut.
Humble
The
pie.
microphone.
It's you eat humble pie,
Yeah.
or you eat crow.
Yeah,
I think
eat
you're
crow.
mixing
All I know
metaphors.
is that whatever I did, I
Crow
feel
pie.
incredibly humble about it. You know what I mean? Like how good I did. So, I just wanted to make that clear. So yeah, no, the real thing that happened was some stuff happened. I realized very quickly that I needed to say some things to Chris that I did not get to say. And we hadn't really talked either direction for a long time. So it's two-way road, of course, not for lack of Chris, reaching out here and there when like Corey and I would be hanging out. But yeah, I definitely reached out to everybody as a whole. And then separately, Chris and I had a couple heart-to-hearts where I was just like, probably should have never gotten to the place that we got to because of things that happened in the band. And yeah, so it was a pretty, as Chris has said before, cathartic for both of us. And I think it was the logical things that happened were we said our sorries and we made our amends, and then it immediately went to, well, I guess we probably should make some songs too.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. So then, at what point do you say, "Okay, we're friends again"?
Like
Now let's.
immediately.
Yeah,
It was part of
I
the
think- I
original
think it was-
conversation.
Yeah, it was the same conversation. It was, hey, we should, like, hey, we're good. I love you too. I'm sorry. Hey, you want to finish those songs we kind of started writing 4 years ago? Because I think they might be okay. And that was it.
We're still gonna find out that part. We don't know yet.
Yeah, one's definitely okay.
One's okay.
Well, let's talk about
3
that
more.
one. You guys have a song out. What's the name of the song?
I'm gonna let the guy who named it tell you the name of it.
Would that be Corey?
I sure would.
It's named Shia LaBeouf.
It's not named Shia LaBeouf.
I wanted it to be.
Well, what is
Oh,
it?
he did want it to be.
It's called Honey Boy.
Thank you. Somebody. I mean, these answers can't go in the paper if you're not going to be serious. This is all going to be about a 3-word interview.
That's
I'm
about what
just
we're good
saying.
for.
So that song, Honey Baby, Honey Boy, Sweet
Honey
Baby,
Boy.
Honey Baby,
Sweet Baby Ray's.
Sweet
Honey
Baby,
baby,
Ray's.
sweet boy.
Well, how did that song come together then? Was it first music? Was it lyrics?
Music first.
Music first. Is
Yeah,
that how you
pretty-
guys always do it?
Yeah, recently. I mean, pretty much forever. Chris and I will. I guess I'm maybe thinking of more recent times, but Chris and I will like get musically. We'll get a structure, and then kind of build it out. And once it's at a spot where we feel pretty good, Corey will get like a demo of it or something, and then just whatever he's feeling in that day or even in that part of that day, because he might feel something different in the morning than he feels in the afternoon. So
What's the song?
As we all do, Brandon.
thank you. That's where I was going to get.
Yeah, like there's no, it's sometimes inspiration hits you at different times, and it's totally normal to do those things.
That's
which
beautiful
I
sentiment.
feel like sentiment.
You thought I was leading somewhere.
No,
No,
there's no
no, no, no.
leading. We're all just here.
That's my best friend Corey we're talking about.
Does he know?
Sometimes he writes better in the morning, sometimes he writes better in the afternoon.
Wow.
What's the song about?
Before I dive right into that, I'll say these softballs that have been grounded my direction. I'm the crazy person in the band. I always have been. And I think there's some amount of significance in the newly formed version of this band. I used to share the vocals duties and lyric duties with a former member, and now all of a sudden it's me and me alone, and I don't think they have realized yet how much of a mistake that is going to be. But so the Honey Boy song was the first one in this group that I wrote just me, but it evolved from there, which was really cool, because we with as Brandon's describing the process of pulling the songs together. This next bit will be a little sarcastic. I'm sorry.
It's just not going to stop.
Chris has said multiple times, when he talks about Sam Powell coming back, about how good of friends we are and how often we hang out. And I seem to, I don't know if you got the wrong number, the wrong address. I don't know when these hangouts are occurring. So I just get a demo over the internet, and they're like, hey, do some vocals. You know what? I'm fine with it, because it may be in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, maybe in the evening, but I get to put what I think the vocals should be down. And it's been a really cool version of the writing process, I think. And as a musician and another music creator, I really like new process. I think that can often lead to new methods of inspiration. So for them to get together, not invite me, and write the song
On purpose,
and then send it over, it's like I never know what I'm going to get. I mean, I do, though, because you use the same chords all the time.
Wow.
But they're good
Shots.
chords. They're good chords. And there's an element to it that can't be reproduced otherwise when the two of them get together and flesh out a structure. And
that's recording, right? What he said, you're going to have that forever.
I do really like it. Again, I was the diva of the band. Now it's Brandon. So that song.
You're just the crazy person now. I believe you said
crazy.
moments ago.
I'm just the crazy one. I always have been. No, Honey Boy is named Honey Boy because it started with a loose concept of a Shia LaBeouf movie that
movie
titled Honey Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this era of the band, we've all been in different bands, and I've always been able to write songs of a personal nature, but I think when this band started, all the songs were about 90s sitcoms. And that was kind of the shtick, and we never thought that we would actually have people that wanted to see us play live. And then when that started happening more and more, we always talked about, well, what if we started leaving the shtick behind and writing actual songs and actual meaningful lyrics. And so I think I came into it with this first song that we've come back with, and I think I came into it and I was a little in my head thinking, well, I don't even know how to do that. How do I do that? So that was the concept, and I think I'm really excited for the new wave of songs we're doing, because I'm just kind of learning to let it flow and let it happen. And I think the songs, that one in particular, is a lot more about, I think a lot of people can relate to it, personal struggles with feelings of depression and whatnot. And
so you write all the lyrics yourself, which ish. And the way you're describing it, you guys don't like get in a room and play together and then say, hey, we have a song. This is very compartmentalized, the way you guys do it. Have you ever thought about just saying, hey, we're going to set aside 2 hours, get in a room, and try to see what comes out together?
That's how it started, man. Those are the early days when we all liked each other even a little bit more.
And you were able to do that then.
Yeah, we lived close. Yeah. There's families being made. There's children being born. There's just, I don't want to say unfortunately, but it's just the times as they go on.
It's logistics too. I mean, there was a dedicated practice space that we had, and really no rules except for certain rules. But we don't have a space like that now.
Well, and it's also important.
There were really no rules except for certain rules.
Say something without saying anything.
That's what I'm good at. But no, so I mean, like the idea of it being something where we wanted to, the former function of the band, we all had to be together in order for songs to be agreed upon. And then it became just very weird when we would all bring things together and other people were working on different things. Feelings were hurt. And now we've kind of got to the point where I think we all trust each other, the four of us, in a different way. where the new songs that do come out or the new demos that are there, there's not a whole lot of ego involved where it's like, hey, can we change this part? Can we not do this thing? And I think that's been a new flavor in the mix of things and has kind of made this compartmentalizing thing work pretty well.
I think it's what makes it possible.
I think it's also important to note that the way it all started in the first place, all those centuries ago, was as a joke. We were sitting in a room watching Saved by the Bell, and one of us said, what if there was a band that just wrote songs and sang about all of the drama and the funny things that are happening in this show? Because they're really good characters, and that's actually where the namesake came from, Samuel Powers, which you can Google that and figure that out yourself. But I think since it started as a joke, and then we started playing live, noticing that people were actually enjoying it, we started taking it a little more seriously in the writing room in those days. And so I think maybe, and you can, this is my thought, I'm not speaking for the rest of them, maybe something that played a hand in the demise of the band was that we were a joke band trying to be serious and couldn't really get that together to some degree, as Chris is saying, with ego and arguments over song structure and what we were doing, and even just trying to jump away from this funny little shtick and write more personal, meaningful songs. It seemed almost an insurmountable task at times.
You know what an insurmountable task is? Trying to get you to not talk.
Okay.
You could literally ask no questions. You could just say, "Hey Corey, what's the weather like today?"
There's still
and
tension
you have
clearly in the band.
You have 2 hours of uninterrupted Corey just stream of consciousness.
That as podcast host, that's what we want, though. So it is great that
You're
somebody,
not a hey. You're
I
not
know.
a host today.
Well, technically, this part may not be, but the other parts, yes.
What is the biggest difference? If you could, before you broke up and now that you're together, is there a tangible thing you point to that is the biggest difference? Chris is pointing.
Me? I'm the difference,
Brody's
or I'm
the
supposed
difference?
to answer?
Why is Brody the difference?
I don't know
I
what Chris
can't
is
answer
talking about.
that
I
for
gotta think
myself.
for a second. There's a difference. There's a big difference, or else it wouldn't work.
Is there a maturity?
Ooh, no, no.
Probably
We're-
not maturity, but I think probably less.
I got it. You go ahead.
Less. I don't want to say pressure, because I don't know that we ever necessarily felt pressure before, but I feel like on some level we all just felt more like we needed it, like we needed to do the band, like it was more bigger part of our lives, even though we're continually saying it's a joke band. I feel like that was kind of like some sort of defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Because it did
makes
start
sense.
as a joke band, but we obviously all cared about it and took it serious.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we just continually were like, oh, it's just a joke, just to kind of like not deal with how important it was to us or whatever. Or I feel like now it's still really important to us and we're still having a lot of fun doing it, but we all have like other stuff we're doing in our lives too. So I feel like there's a little less, again, I don't want to really say pressure because it's not pressure, but like it just doesn't, we've got other stuff in our lives that matter a lot more. And so it's just something we're doing as friends for fun now more than ever, I think.
There's a weight lifted. What
Yeah.
are you going to say, Brandon?
I was gonna say, yeah, we've, like Brody said, we are all in other projects. We've all been in other projects. We've all had other projects start and end and blah 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 blah. Like every band member in every city in every part of the country.
Chrome Rodeo.
Yes, but for this is the first one that I can say that I've been a part of that's come back from the dead.
Oh.
Like we closed the book.
right around Halloween.
We were
too.
done. We said enough. It was over. So I think with how quickly, once Chris and I started talking, and all of us, but specifically Chris and I, once we started talking, realizing, wow, we've not really talked for 3 years. Boy, let's never do that again. And then immediately that goes into, well, how do you feel about dusting off the old songs? Maybe play a show at some point. Maybe write some new ones. Once you come back to it, and because you're not birthing a new band, you're not starting a new band. You're saying this thing lived, it died, and we're saying it's important enough to us to not screw it up a second time. So I think because of that, the stakes are They could never be lower because the band already died once. So the only thing to do with it is to have a good time. Any of the extra stress stuff, granted, Chris Perry in a band at points leads to stress. It's because he's a doer. It's because he wants to get things done. He understands timelines. He understands planning.
And sometimes
I love him for it, but
sometimes you just want to party. You just want
sometimes you want no rules, nothing, and
no
you just
rules
wanna,
or stuff.
But my point is, I think because we know that we're giving it a second chance, there's no real reason to stress over it too much because it's all gravy now. It's all plus. It's all just extra time. So why stress about it and risk anything like that happening again?
You mentioned a show. So
I
want to talk about this. You guys have a show coming up at the Frederick Arts Council. Are you nervous about getting in front of people again?
0%.
Zero?
Nervous.
Are you nervous about the turnout? Are you excited?
Oh, the turnout.
Because it's been a while.
I gotta look at Chris for the turnout.
It's been a while.
I don't know about the turnout. I'm just excited to play these songs. I really like these. The songs that we do continue to play, that we're going to continue to play, I didn't realize that I missed those songs a lot, too, as I've been practicing them. So, yeah, I'm really excited.
It's not really the hits when, 10 people listen to them, but they're the hits for us, you know?
We're having a good
The
time.
greatest hits.
We're having a good
Samuel Powers.
Yes. Out now on Tooth and Nail Records. That's
not true. Essentials, yeah.
No, I think the turnout's going to be fun. We get to play, I think it's this version of Brister's band. So Brister's the band, and it's their first show with this lineup, so it'll be cool. It's going to be upstairs at FAC, so it'll be a lot of fun. And it's one of the cooler looking spaces in Frederick. And it is also on Drunksgiving, so we've we've picked this day in a weird spot because the four of us don't usually partake in those festivities, but the show is only 7 to 8:30ish, so you get to go before things get crazy downtown and then go home if that's what you want to do, or you can go meet up with your friends afterwards. So it's all pretty cool, and it's BYOB, so it's kind of interesting that something like that exists here in Frederick.
I am nervous, though. You said, are we nervous?
You are.
I'm nervous about...
This will be your first Sam Powell show singing only you, right?
I'm not nervous about
He's
that
gonna
part.
like that.
I'm gonna like
Don't
that
let him
part.
fool you. That's
I'm
not
really
nerve.
gonna like that part because I'm gonna be able to sing some of the parts the way that I want them to be sung, which was never an option before. But again, that's the crime of collaboration, isn't it? No, I'm nervous about how I'm gonna perform not in a costume, because the last year of this band, I was in a costume as a character every single show, and I
never forget the cowboy.
Wait a second.
in the
back
room of
I'm-
Rita's.
I'm gonna take. Sorry, Kevin. Really quick. I'm gonna take the interviewer's podium for a second. Why did you feel the need to perform in a costume? Do you want to dig into that some?
Go ahead.
Will you allow it, Colin?
I'll go ahead.
Colin. Oh, Colin. Can he hear me?
Was it a mechanism to feel more comfortable?
So we talk about the band, and this is the band lore, right? The history of the band. We talk about it starting as a joke. We talk about it getting a little more serious. I think at the time for me when it made that jump and we were being more active with playing local shows and taking trips and playing for weeks at a time, traveling around, I think that was when, for me, and this is, as Brandon so eloquently asked from the interviewer's podium,
It just came to me.
this is what I'm going to speak out as what Samuel Powers means to me as an individual. And I think at that point in time, where things started getting a little more serious, the story of Samuel Powers, the band, for me, especially in the live context, became how's Corey feeling this week? And it became a projection screen showing the status of my mental health at any given moment in time. And I think that's why it's special for me, because I would show up to one of our shows dressed up as, I think one of my favorite ones was Deep Jim the Fisherman at Guido's. I was dressed like a deep sea fisherman.
Lime green and pink, right?
Oh, it was all camouflage. and I had the fisherman's hat and the fisherman's vest, big boots, and then I had a little tiny acoustic guitar, which is neither here nor there. But I think to be able to do that, and it was immersive. I would talk if the character warranted an accent.
Yeah.
I would speak as if I'd just gotten done. I think I was demonstrating such an effort of escapism that I would channel it into a character for that show, and that was how I would get through the night. And they were cool with it, as cool as one can be. I think because we talk about it getting serious, but because of what it meant to us, and because everything always had an air of comedy about it in this band live from the get-go, everyone just kind of embraced those moments for the most part, and it became fun. Even if I was whirling around and being mentally unstable, I think it added to a live experience that they could be like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing, so we're going to get behind it.
I think it's going to be really exciting, like with the band being reborn, just the whole live show too, just to take another crack at it, and just because we don't have a plan. I mean, we know the songs, we know the set, we know all the stuff, but we don't know how it's
I
going
have
to feel.
a plan.
Corey's got a plan. Corey's always got a plan.
There's
But
gonna be
it's
a whole
exciting.
lot more stretching is involved.
He's going to get low. Yeah, he's going to get low.
The full body headbang's going to require some
So
conditioning.
it's going to be a big rock show. Real big rock show.
So and this will be the last question that I have for at least my things is the future. You kind of touched on that. You don't have a plan, but are there more songs? Is this just a one-off show? Is this
Well,
one
Chris
song?
needs to admit that we're a band again.
This is the perfect
I think
avenue for
before
That's true.
we do any more shows. He still has not verbally said we're a band.
In every
back
conversation.
together.
seeing that we're doing this as a band on a, like, on a conversation interview, I think it's probably time
He denies it in every conversation.
to do
we
it
have.
now.
For the record, Samuel Powers is a band.
There it is.
So do you have more?
It's been spoken into existence.
It's 5 words instead of 3 for the article, by the way.
Oh, okay,
Can you
yeah,
stretch it to an extra 2?
Hopefully, maybe.
There's your answer.
So then,
What's in the future? Well, we're a band now.
do you
so
have more songs?
We sure do.
Are you gonna record them?
Colin.
What about a drummer?
Yes,
we haven't talked about that.
No, there's actually I have to double back to something else that I do need to say. But yes, there are more songs. They're in various stages of being recorded. They are being completely tracked, mixed, mastered, all that stuff by yours truly, which is really fun to have that much of a hand on the whole process. It's also very, very nerve-wracking at times because, no sarcasm here, like I just think of all the people that I really enjoy listening to stuff they've mixed or they've mastered or recorded, and I think to put my own stuff out there, bareback, just like bare back, like no shirt, like just feeling naked.
Yeah, Bears in the Wilderness. So yeah, B does all the recording, and it's awesome. He's really good at it, and he's no jokes like at all, but he's really awesome. And I think B not having a weird thing where he's at home all the time like the rest of the world many years ago, and got really good at this. I don't know if Samuel Powers would be functioning the same way today without you. So I'm super grateful for it, and I think this version of the band is better because of what we've all gone through in the time away. So I'm excited that we're all here. You're more comfortable talking about your mental health, Corey, and Brody is way more verbal about dumb things that we say and do and don't do than ever before. And it just feels like it's in a nice space of, hey, we're doing things for each other, which is kind of a new shift. So yeah, new songs. It's going to be awesome. There's a bunch, or not any at all.
No, there's some. Don't listen to him.
But drummer.
Yeah, the drummer. So before, really quickly though, the show that we talked about with Brister, this is special on another level, because the Bristers, the family, Austin, the lead singer and frontman of that band, is like one of my first guitar students I ever had.
Aww.
Him and his brother Billy, and then their parents Andrea and Big Bill. They were like, of the times that Corey and I have been in bands, and even for Sampow still too, just some of like our biggest.
Yeah, one time we were in North Carolina on tour, and they just randomly showed up to our show because they just happened to be on vacation in North Carolina.
Right.
And we're like, oh, we were in the area. So, like, that's crazy.
It's
that
like-
you'd spend your vacation to come see some crappy local band.
It's bigger than even just like a full circle thing, because it's like they've been a huge part of my life forever. This whole family, so to finally play a show with like one of my earliest guitar students, and it's like his band that's becoming fully actualized. The upcoming show, for many reasons, is going to be really special. That's just one of them, so I wanted to shout them out.
And the band is really good.
Also, they're really good.
I haven't heard them yet, so I don't know how they sound.
Drummer. This reintroduction of Sampow into the world kind of gave us an opportunity to pick whatever drummer that we like wanted to, or somebody that we've wanted to work with for a long time.
William.
Not Will. No. And what it
I heard
did,
he's a new drummer for a band.
what it did was allowed us to pick somebody from when Corey and I were young. Not pick somebody. It was a no-brainer, because this is somebody that had things worked out differently. And this guy Dylan, he's one of our best friends, lives in Nashville. Had he like not gone probably away and done like been in the Army and gone to college and done ROTC, and like just he has a whole other life that he's had. But it kind of, Corey and I talk about how we probably would have gotten to this place playing with him a lot earlier.
Well, Chris already did.
And Chris, well, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. It's like Dylan was the first. So the Dylan and his brother Dalton, again, same last name as I, but no relation unless we're pulling a joke on you. But I played my first band with Dylan, so it's kind of like a cool full circle moment now where I get to play with my band with also the guy that I've known as long as I've known Corey, if not by a couple months, and that I know longer than B, and that I've known longer than Brody, and so it's really cool just
Old
to
time buddy.
yeah, long time homeschool lifer, and it's crazy to see things kind of come full circle. And we've not practiced with him yet, so
Don't admit that.
so I'm not nervous, but
No.
it'll be cool where it's like I wish we had more practices with him than we will, because I want to kind of cherish that. But for now, it's kind of like, oh, cool, when it's happening, I'm going to be like real into it. So
I
it'll be
do
cool.
have one question for you, Chris. What is a homeschool lifer? Are you still in school at home?
Yeah, I'm not graduated yet. I'm still at home, and I'm still learning, so I'm a life homeschool. I guess it'd be the people that had never went to public school, and so I don't think Dalton and Dylan ever went to
I
public
think
school.
that's called a Gold Star homeschooler.
Oh no, you know
Is
what?
that-
It's called a Homestar Runner.
I knew you were gonna like that one. So yes, long and short of that is Dylan Perry, one of our best, oldest buds, is just we're really excited to put it. He's on the recordings. He's done the drums on the recordings, and he's going to be playing with us, playing the show with us, because it's just one of those guys that when you play live with him, it just feels like this is what was supposed to happen the whole time.
Well, that's all. That's all that I have. Chris, do you want to ask questions of your bandmates for the Could Be Better podcast?
It could be better podcast, guys. We're back, and that's kind of weird. Oh,
Yeah,
Are,
I mean,
you guys,
special
are we
tease.
playing a song for this episode?
Yeah, Corey and I
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
song. Corey and I have a
No.
new song. Yeah.
that's fine. But
Wait,
we're gonna
is
we're
it
gonna
time?
we're gonna drop in a real song here. So this is "Honey Boy" by Samuel Powers.
Something's broken in my head, yeah, I freaked out in the showroom. And I remember I used to picture myself dead, all of the things I left unsaid. hold of yourself. You wanna get free? Whoa. Won't you stop blaming everyone else? Gotta let it go and take control. Just get it over yourself.
And now we're back.
And now we're back.
That we just got back.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, actually,
The song was
he's
good,
got-
is what
he's got-
sounded. It sounded really good,
I
but
don't think we're back yet because Corey's doing that, and Chris is. Yeah.
and we're back.
And we're back.
Oh no, I beat you to it.
It's a live in studio performance by certain members of a certain band.
There will be a live performance. Yeah, for sure. We'll get to it. Yeah, no, don't. I mean, it doesn't need to be now.
No, I think it needs to be now. Colin, are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's now. Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, I was ready. So, Corey, you ready for the? That's boy, I'm just really. What I am is I'm excited.
For folks that are not tuning into the live stream, he is down tuning and unzipping a guitar case and has an electric guitar without an amp and is putting it on. But we're ready to go.
Brody, so this is going to be a multifaceted, a multifaceted moment. Okay, so what I'm going to need you to do is take that mic from Chris, please. Excellent. And if you could
Taking the mic from Chris.
if you can keep it away from him the rest, that amp is going to just live kind of close to that microphone. Oh, perfect. There's a button on the side too. Oh, even better. Yeah, there's a. Actually, I got you. Not that one, but that's okay. I can do this part. Perfect. Oh, Brody, you're the best.
Pocket amps brought to you by Duet with Music.
That's good enough.
Colin looks very unsure right now.
Oh, this is fine. I'm gonna go take a nap.
I just want to thank everyone, mostly the Academy, for.
There it is. This is the first electric
That's
performance
great.
we've ever had on this
Okay.
podcast. We're making history.
So what this song means to you can take it honestly. What it means to me is like friendship, but like a visceral friendship, like a
Sexual friendship.
no, it doesn't have to be. I mean, I don't know what the could be better stuff is about, but I mean,
Sex.
it,
That's right. Long
it can
time.
be whatever it
Yeah.
wants to be. But I mean, Corey, do you have any? Do you want to? I don't want to take away from what the lyrics are. I'm just happy to have this moment to do this.
If this isn't a Creed song, I'm going to be very upset. I don't know what it is, except in my soul.
With arms wide open.
I'm a creep.
No.
I'm a weirdo.
It's not what it was supposed
What
to
the hell am I doing here?
be. You can do a Radiohead bit.
That's
That's
what I'm
fine.
asking myself right
Yeah.
now.
You could have done that.
Brody speaks for all of us.
That's all that it wasn't supposed to be Creed. Or it wasn't supposed to be Creed.
What's it supposed to be? You gonna
It
play
was
the new
supposed to be
song?
me and my best buddy who's supposed to understand when a bit is happening, making up lyrics on the fly like he does every other day of
That
the
only
week.
happens when I've been drinking.
Every other day of the week, making up a fun song for a thing. But maybe this is good enough. I don't know.
You got any tequila?
I got no
I'll get
tequila.
there
It's
for you.
freaking 2 p.m., Corey.
It's one.
Anyway, that was supposed to be a bit where Corey sings words that he makes up on the fly that he was supposed to get from a wink,
That was
but he clearly didn't. It's fine.
What a great segment.
It's
this
fine.
Is gonna be a hell of a podcast. I'll tell you that.
It's
So now
only way to
Chris
go.
is- Chris
Only
is
way to go up
asking
from. Only way.
questions.
Whatever.
Yeah, we're going someplace. So I think maybe
We're still recording.
I told him.
We're-
It's
we're
not
here.
like I didn't tell him what was going to happen. I
No.
told him, be ready.
I'm
Be
going-
ready.
I would have blocked it out too. It's fine.
I did what you asked. I was
You
ready to
did
sing, and
not.
I did.
no.
Corey, what's your inspiration for those lyrics? I've never heard that before. I'm a creep. So I guess we'll do a quick plug for our friends at Specialties, where if you tell them that Could Be Better sent you, you get 10% off your first order.
Specialties.
Special-tees.com. Hannah, Adrian,
could've done a
Justin,
jingle.
all the people. We're all good. Oh, you could have done a Specialties jingle.
You didn't give me a. I'm sorry.
Do you want to try again?
No.
No. So here's the thing. We'll
Not
do
mad
our
at you. I'm not
we'll do
mad
our
at you.
segment where we ask 5 rapid fire questions. Same question for all 4 of us. Is that what you want to do?
Well, it's interesting. The Sam Powell interviews turned into literally just us interviewing ourselves because Colin is, I don't know, over at
He's
Idiom
been
Brewing
so-
or
he had to
he's
stretch.
so done.
he's just ready to take a nap. What did you have? 6 podcasts you recorded before this?
Yes.
Yes.
I did.
Well, then,
Also, I think you
So we-
Mother Brewing.
I
Old
mean,
Mother yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but Old Mother's is their sponsor.
I've never heard of any other brewery other than Old Mother.
It's the only one that exists. And the
I
only
take
one.
any of it back.
Yes.
We have. Are you gonna ask the questions, Chris, too, or
He was
what?
asking, he wanted clarification on if everybody is getting asked the same question or if we each get individual rapid fire questions.
And how rapid is this rapidity?
19 seconds.
Yeah, 19 seconds.
19
Per question or for the whole 5?
Per question.
That's a lot of tests. That's moderate fire. I don't know. Whatever.
Let's do it. You start, and we'll do 5 total.
Who's answering?
Everybody. So everybody gets 19 seconds. So it's gonna be like
I'm getting the stopwatch.
you getting ready? So
So I will go
yeah,
ahead.
and this is you. This is you.
I can't find the watch.
You swipe it down and you do the thing.
All right.
You ready?
Who am I starting with, Corey or you?
We'll just go down the row. Start with Corey.
Start with Corey. Start with Corey. Okay. Corey, we ready?
Yes.
Did we play the music? Do do do.
Cue the music.
Do 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 do.
Not doing a great job with music cues today.
Man. Okay,
Just you.
Corey,
Colin.
rank these 3 bands from your favorite to least favorite. Weezer, Fall Out Boy, Jack's Mannequin.
Jack's Mannequin is number 1 in that
Okay.
list. I'm gonna put Weezer second and Fall Out Boy third.
Okay.
Weezer, Jack's Mannequin, Fall Out Boy. That's the easiest question in the world.
Weezer, Fall Out Boy, Jack's Mannequin.
I don't know.
Same as Brody.
Oh, come on. That was a cop out.
The best post show. So I guess we need to know, where are we going after the show? Where's the best place that we're going after the show?
Are you asking the next question?
Yeah, that's how this works. So here's 19
I
seconds.
thought you were answering the last question.
He
and
did
I was
both.
Like,
No,
that's
I did
not
both.
right.
Both. We're switching here.
He's got a lot of duty.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got a lot of duty today.
Double duty.
Duty.
More than double.
Where is
Double
the
duty
best
cycle.
post-show place to go, and or is it where we're going after our show on
hangout?
Wednesday?
A hangout after
know
the
how
show.
it's-
Where
hangout.
we're going? It's 19 seconds. You're on the clock.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Where's the best place to go after a show to hang out? Easily, the strip club.
Sheets. Well, it's not even a question. I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, sheets are to give a different answer than B. I would just say Pretzel Pizza Creation, probably.
What a plug.
I didn't say in the state, so if it's after our show, probably Sheets. But if it's at any show, probably Cookout, because then it's always open late. You get the cheerwine shakes, you do the floats, you do all the things.
Hi, my
Depends.
name's Chris Perry, and I'm going to use these 19 seconds to upstage everyone in the room.
Yeah, that's why I go last on my question. Colin, you're up. This is quick.
Colin, the first time he ever had Cookout.
That's
That's
true.
right.
It was we got
The
to
world
see him
famous
having like
Virginia
a
tour.
transcendent experience. In my mind, it probably didn't happen this way, but you and Joe are like feeding each other food.
We did, yeah.
Your eyes are like rolled
Very
back in your
true.
head. You're both like
It's
crying.
one of the scenes from Spirited Away when they're just eating.
That's happening while B is just ordering another cookout tray for himself.
Another tray and another tray.
It's only $3.
Oh.
That was amazing. Then we slept it. Yeah.
Question 3.
There we
That was
go.
great.
Corey, what was the last great movie you saw?
Saw for the first time,
Yeah.
Dune.
Okay.
When Evil Lurks.
Which Dune?
The one
You
that
can't
just
go
happened
back.
with Timothée.
I just put out. Oh, come on. When Evil Lurks.
When Evil Lurks.
Boy, oh boy, do yourself
Brody?
a favor.
Oppenheimer.
Chris.
I hope it's when, not where.
What was the
Barbie.
question again?
The-
Last great movie I saw? How many seconds do I have left?
You have 10, 9,
Good.
8,
When Evil Lurks.
7, 6,
Pretty sure I got the first one.
5.
Oh, Elemental, because I watch Disney Plus with my child now.
I thought you were gonna say Left Behind.
No. Guys,
Pretty mid. That was the first.
I'm a
pretty mid.
Pixar fan till death, and Elemental was pretty mid. It was good, but like it's not Pixar standard.
What was the emotions movie that everybody loved?
Inside Out.
Inside Out.
Inside Out. Is
Sequel
that great?
coming. Sequel coming.
Is
That's
that
a
as
good movie.
As advertised?
That movie
Yeah.
slaps.
Oh wow, we got
The
slaps
lingo.
in mid.
Yeah, check.
Well, actually,
I'm
we're gonna
so old.
Stay
I'm too
tuned
old
for the
this.
post credit scene, and that movie is also really.
we're gonna
good.
start a band about Pixar movies next.
called slapping the mids.
That would be very on brand.
When you're having a bad day, what's the first thing you put in your car when you need to be cheered up? Yeah, like you're listening to something in your car.
What?
When you're having a bad day, what do you listen to cheer yourself up when
What
you
do
get
we put on music-wise?
when you get no, I didn't say music. It could be a podcast. Yeah, I know you love Joe Rogan, so I didn't know if that was like your thing.
No, not a Joe Rogan guy.
Well, it's not. Could be better.
Obviously not. Wasn't fishing. Deep sea Jim's not here.
I would for me, since we're going down the road, I would say it's gonna be one of three things. This is multifaceted. It's either gonna be any Reliant K album, any of the early Good Charlotte, or lately it's been this Rustin Kelly album, and that's like great, make me happy, drive the car music.
something either very, very loud and very, very metal, or probably Manchester Orchestra.
My car speakers don't work.
What a sad.
Are you
sad
are you an
existence.
AirPods driving guy?
Not usually, because I think it's technically against the law.
You just drive in silence, bro.
or I just listen to music on my cell phone speakers.
Or he just has one of the JBL little things
No,
just
dude,
chilling in the
no,
back
dude.
seat.
Okay, true story. I did have that, and then like 3 months ago now, at this point, somebody broke into my car and stole it.
Oh, Brody,
That
I
was
had
the
no
one thing they
idea.
took out of my car was my
Is it
JBL
every
speaker.
single speaker broke at the same time, or your radio is broken?
It's the speakers. It's been this is my problem, and I understand that. It's been an ongoing thing for the last 6 years.
Brody!
My speakers have been dying one by one, and I just have not remedied the solution because I'm like, I still got 3 speakers. This is fine.
Brody, I had no idea about that.
Especially because it's like, I don't know, like $500 to
No, it's-
fix them. I'm like, I
Why?
could spend $500 on anything else.
On a good
Chris,
set
get
of
a Bluetooth
headphones
speaker.
that you
Chris,
can't use while
Chris,
driving.
Chris, how bad do you feel now when
Oh.
you've suggested that we all listen to the
Something in the
latest
car.
mix of a song in our car?
Yeah, Brody's like, if only I could. Hey, for those that want to donate, you can go to the Kumpy Better website, and all funds that we get after this episode is aired for the rest of the year will go towards fixing Brody's car speakers. And for answering my...
Funny anecdote, and I never told any of you guys this, and I don't really know why, because it's actually pretty funny. But when we met to do Honey Boy to track the bass for that, we were all there, and like we all hung out all day. And then after I left, while I was driving home, B like he bounced the song out so we could listen to it. And so it wasn't mixed or mastered or anything, but it was like all the instruments in there and like vocals. And I was like, this is back. I mean, I still had like 2 or 3 speakers were dead, but I was at a net positive in speakers overall.
A spoil of riches, if you will.
And I put that song on while I was driving, and one of my speakers died.
I murdered one of your speakers.
And then that was the tipping moment where it became like unbearable to listen to music in my car because the lack of speakers was like distracting and so bad. So listening to Honey Boy, like that rough, all our instruments tracked out, tipped my car speaker.
I've never
to a
been more
net loss.
proud.
Samuel Powers, not for your car speakers.
No, not for anybody's speakers.
To answer my own question, and then we'll get into the final question here.
that was
Colin
way
was
more
gonna
than
say.
19 seconds.
Well, it was funny, so he gets a pass.
Always.
So when I get in the car, if I'm having a bad day, I will listen to either the NPR Politics podcast or I will listen to whatever albums came out that week. That's on my playlist for the year. I'm not
you
really
want to
sure.
feel better about your day, and you
Well,
put on
it's-
a politics
It's just
podcast.
soothing hearing people that have zero emotion reporting on things that are really messed up.
My name's Chris Perry, and I am now full dad.
Yeah, I've been full dead for a long time. It's my cross to bear. Hey, final question. Bring it home.
Here we go, Corey. Favorite place ever in Frederick to play?
That's easy.
No, it is very easy, and I'll say it right now. It's the Frederick Food Truck Festival.
Oh.
That's not a venue. I'm talking about a venue.
I mean,
you
it
guys
happened at a venue.
need to get back together and reform how you're phrasing.
Well,
this.
There's a lot of modifiers to
I'll
these
reset
questions.
the clock.
Is there? Could we get?
Jesus Christ!
No.
19 seconds back on the clock, please.
I want clarification on best venue overall,
That's
or
what
like
I'm
we
saying.
had the best show there,
No,
like have the best positive
your favorite
experience.
your favorite venue. If you saw this, yes.
Yeah, let's pause this and let's make a quick note for all our listeners. Nobody has ever asked this many pre-clarifying
Right.
questions for this segment
Jesus
ever as
God.
much as these three
It's
people
been-
have
and if
today.
the fucking-
You're
truck
surprised?
So
fucking
surprised.
festival ever gets brought up on this podcast again, I'm quitting.
Why?
I'm
Because it's
done.
it's
I'm
the
done talking
we-
about
we-
this.
See, we had no.
We spent so many hours talking about the Frederick Food Truck Festival. Guys, it's over. It's been over for 3 years.
Also,
Okay.
also
Wow.
the
I had
fair,
no- is this a running thing on the show?
Well, pretty much.
also
Chris
the
and Stitch Early spent
yeah, the
30
fair-
minutes talking about
Yeah,
it.
it was a great
We-
episode.
Yeah,
we
see?
also uncovered that the fairgrounds is like racist.
That's what we
potentially.
knew that, though. We knew
Well, I
that.
mean-
Allegedly.
Not the fairgrounds. The people that have to listen to the music before.
All right, no.
You're
The
saying it
problem
like
is
a
not us asking for clarification on your questions. The problem is you're not being very clear.
This is our
with the
show.
questions.
We are as
All
clear as
right.
we meant to be. Here we go, Colin.
No,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna rephrase the question because fuck you.
I like that one.
Here
That's
we
good.
go. Your favorite performance you've ever seen in Frederick? What
So
band?
seen but not played it.
See, yeah. Seen but not played. Maybe it's a show you went to, or you played the show and you saw another.
I'm going to
band
make you
love.
feel really bad when I answer this.
You're going.
Every time I got to see Double Motorcycle,
Oh, that's
you guys, there was
That's really nice.
something spiritual happening.
Oh man. See, I was looking for that answer, so you redeemed yourself.
You guys were like my favorite thing.
Well, that's why we have to have the reunion tour, the reunion Virginia tour. Sam Powell and Double Motorcycle.
Hey, it's
back
about
to
time.
Virginia. All right, Brandon,
I'm
to you.
completely ignoring the re-question and answering the original one because it's better. The best place to ever play in Frederick was and will always have been the Mud Puddle.
Okay.
Good, yeah.
Okay, Brody.
The best performance I have seen in Frederick
I'm never not drinking again.
was Silent Old Mountains at Sky Stage when we played with them in probably
was
like 2018. or
Okay.
So that's both. We played it. It was
There
awesome
you
to
go.
play
I think
there.
those are
and we
three
got to
really
see
good
them.
answers.
That was a smart
great.
answer. Now to Chris. Wrap it up.
Oh yeah, sure. To ruin the whole thing.
Not a good answer. I think
Wait, which question are you answering?
I think
Yeah,
I'm
which
gonna,
one are you
I
answering?
think I'm going to answer both.
Oh, that's good. you can do that
so-
because you're the owner of the
yeah. So my
podcast.
favorite place that we've played
6 seconds.
would be the Frederick Food Truck Festival.
That's it. That's it. That's
I gotta
19
answer
seconds.
and,
first
and, the,
question.
and the favorite show that I've seen, I got to see this band called Adventures play in this basement of a church here in Frederick. My friend Jeff Sheasley booked it, and it was Adventures and Run Forever. And they played in Adventures, or for people that don't care or know, it was guys and people from Code Orange, which is now like the biggest worldwide wrestling thing ever, WW whatever it stands for, and they played and it was awesome. That was a really cool show because it was really bright and sunny out, and they just played it, and I was like, wow, this is really cool.
I'm going to answer the bonus question.
Oh,
that
I didn't hear
happened now. Well, I got answered the bonus question. I got to answer my favorite place to play question.
Oh, yes,
I
yes,
didn't
yes,
get
yes.
And I
sure.
have to say one that's different. Mud Puddle was probably the best answer, but
You're not-
I will say from the lifetime of Samuel Powers, best place to play,
In Frederick.
back room of Guido's. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Who knows what they're going to do with it? Do you know what they're going to do with it?
They painted it. That's
Yeah.
what
Never
they did
forget
with
the
it.
smell of cat pee.
Well, I would say that this was fun, except it was probably more painful than fun.
Season finale.
I wish. No,
This
no,
was
no,
the season
no,
finale?
God, no, we're smarter than that.
Ooh.
Thank you all for coming on and for eating pizza and
I feel
doing
like
the
I need
things
to take off all my clothes.
and pants and jacket.
Is this pretty much what
can we
happens on this
redeem?
podcast?
No.
Can we
What-
redeem
how does it
ourselves
actually go?
somehow?
Right now?
Can this be saved?
No.
No. No.
This is who we are.
That's part of the appeal. I love that POD song. November 22nd at Frederick Arts Council, Samuel Powers. The Could Be Better podcast is recorded at the Could Be Better Studios somewhere in the middle of Maryland.
This state-of-the-art facility has welcomed in everyone from Ringo Starr to 50 Cent, and it can accommodate all of your podcast needs.
What?
Never mind. If you like what you hear, follow us on Instagram, Facebook Threads, and Zanga. Do not forget to check out our website, www.couldbebettermeh.com.
Also, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, if you want to make sure we come back for a fourth season. Or don't, and maybe we'll listen to you.
Well, plus don't forget to check out all of our brother and sister podcasts exclusively within the Could Be Better network.
And if all else fails, hey, at least come out to a show every now and then.
Wait, we do shows?
This is so much fun. I'm Chris Perry.
And I'm Colin McGuire. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. And don't forget, this could always be better.
The Could Be Better podcast is proud to be a part of the Could Be Better podcast network. We're passionate about creating and using these platforms to dive into topics such as exploring lo-fi, impulsive, small, and otherwise overlooked artworks and creative practices, what happened in the world this week and how to laugh through or at it, and hearing stories from musicians of all walks of life. Check out these podcasts. Could Be Better podcast. This is not my magnum opus. The Weekly with Kiki, and a brand new show with Stitcherly called The Population, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can visit couldbebettermeh.com/podcasts in the show notes to see the current shows on the Could Be Better podcast network. Let's hang out as we figure out more about ourselves, the community around us, and why Ted Lasso is the greatest show of all time.